You know, oddly enough, I feel like my studio setup is really not much different from Brian's. Huh. Hey folks, what's good? I'm Deets, your friendly neighborhood anti-troll. Look, I know that some days it does feel like we are surrounded by nothing but toxic internet nonsense. And we are, but I also happen to think that there is a lot out there for us to appreciate. And that's exactly what I do with this channel. I tell you about the best content creators that I find, so you can keep your playlist stacked. Alright, on that note, let's get to today's content creator. Smiles for Miles.
Hi. What's up, guys? Please excuse me, I just woke up. I used to be an ICU RN, and then I became a full-time drug addict instead of being an RN, and I got arrested, and I've been incarcerated for the last 3 years. On the prison yard, they called me Smiles. I'm on house arrest, and I talk about life as I know it.
3 years ago, if you just saw Brian on the outside, it looked like he had it so good.
I was married to another ICU RN. We owned a home in South Lake Tahoe, completely paid off. We had made that house into an Airbnb so that we could go wherever we wanted, do travel nursing assignments, work whenever we wanted. I was only working 3 days a week generally. In between contracts, I could take as much time off as I wanted. We made plenty of money.
But on the inside, Brian was actually miserable, and he started to self-medicate more and more. Even though he was aware of his issues and he felt shame and guilt because he wanted to be a better husband to his wife, he simply just wasn't able to stop.
And I kept using, and I kept using.
Soon, Brian was getting high every chance he could get.
I would drive straight to San Francisco, because it's the only place I knew where to get at this time, and I would get and I would drive back and then do it and then work my shifts.
He was spiraling into this shocking descent.
And I think that was the most horrible moment of my life.
Eventually, the double life that he was leading got exposed.
You have been reported to the Board of Nursing for failing that drug test and that you're under investigation.
But then his life really hit rock bottom when he was caught by the police for not just using, but selling. And Brian was sentenced to prison for 3 to 10 years. Listening to Brian's story was, to say the least, it was very difficult. But I think it's important to listen to different points of view and to hear different life experiences so that we can learn from each other. Cut to the present, and Brian is on house arrest. He spent a year in prison, and now he is wearing an ankle monitor, and he's in a dead-end job, as he puts it.
I basically am homebound most of the time. I can't really do much else besides be at home and go to work, with very few other exceptions.
Because yes, you do actually have to have a job when you're on house arrest.
One of the stipulations with house arrest was that you have to maintain 30 hours a week of work time. Otherwise, they'll, add time to your sentence.
But instead of just wallowing in this soul-sucking situation, Brian has decided to use this time to work on himself. Brian dedicates his channel to discussing the reasons why he's currently happier now on house arrest than he ever has been before.
I have nothing to my name. I rent the cheapest little studio apartment that I could possibly find. I have a mountain of debt from everything that went to collections when I was arrested. I don't own the house anymore. I don't have a wife anymore. I don't have a nursing license anymore. I don't have a career anymore. And you know what? I've never been happier in my life. I feel great. I'm happier, more content, and more at peace than I've ever been before in my entire life.
Somehow, even though he is wearing an ankle monitor and going to a job that he doesn't like very much, and even has to get visitors to his own home approved, he's finding more fulfillment in life than he did when he was using. Sometimes Brian will share what the process of being arrested was like and what moving through the system entails, what his experience was.
One of the side effects of being arrested is that you lose all of your stuff.
What day-to-day life was like in prison.
This is what it looks like. I don't know where this came from, but that's pretty much exactly what they looked like.
And even sometimes the logistics of being on house arrest.
In order to keep it working, I have to plug it in like this it takes like 2 or 3 hours a day of having this plugged in.
He talks about the criminal justice system, drug laws and policies, and the issues he's faced in our society as a whole.
It feels like our society's entire MO at this point is to get people to buy and subscribe to shit that they don't need to fill a void and provide temporary relief or pleasure at the cost of long-term consequences of every sort.
He's deeply reflective about it all.
This is not a society. This is anarchy!
He discusses how all of these experiences have truly impacted his life, both negatively and positively.
Your day-to-day sense of well-being in this life has a lot less to do with your life's circumstance than you think it does.
He talks about what's important to him now, what he hopes to achieve, and the hope he sees in his own future. Additionally, Brian is making physical changes, whether they be big or small. He's taking a look at the material things that he surrounds himself with, his home space and what it looks like. He really considers what types of food he eats, how much he moves, and really just how he walks through life on a day-to-day basis.
I think it's really important to recognize that the stuff that you have or the stuff that you hope to get doesn't define you and will not define you and will not bring that satisfaction that you're looking for ultimately.
And when it really just comes right down to it, Brian is just searching for fulfillment on the other side of misery. It is a very vulnerable story to be telling, but so important because you never really know who's listening. So thank you, Brian. You are appreciated. And not just by someone like me who's got a different lived experience and is curious about yours, but hopefully also by others who might be experiencing a similar situation and can really learn from your journey. And that brings me to today's reminder. Today's reminder. What's going on the inside may not always reflect the facade we put up on the outside. So check in with yourself. Let me know that you made it to the end of this video by leaving me a smiley face emoji for hopefully very obvious reasons. And if you want to check out Smiles for Miles, I've left a link to his channel in the description below. Go check him out. If you're looking for a way to support my channel, thank you so much. You can actually now buy me a coffee. Any size donation really makes a big difference. So I'll leave a link to that in the description below as well. And in the meantime, here are a couple of some really nice comments that have been left on my channel in the last week or so. Thank you to Ryan James the Wolf and Ari Fellings. I appreciate your comments. And one last reminder, don't forget to vote. It's so important, and that time is coming up real fast. If you haven't registered yet, that is okay. There is still time. I'll leave a link in the description below, along with the rest, so you can go ahead and register right now.
Vote, bitch!
And if you want another content creator to watch, you can check out one of these two videos right here. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.